Hello, good evening and welcome to the beach. This is our first live stream outside from the campsite. Yeah, our campsite is right on the beach. Maybe towards the end of the live stream we'll show you the boundaries of the site. But this is the place where we are staying this week, so welcome. Welcome to the beautiful beach. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. You can just see the palm trees behind me. This is the main lane leading to the campsite where those palm trees are, but it stretches all along the beach. So welcome to the live stream from the outskirts of camping Malvarossa near Sagunto. It's a lovely town which is over there, famous for the castle. The castle is absolutely beautiful, and this is the place we discovered by chance. We've never been to Sagunto before, well, until this trip. We are not far from the campsite which we didn't like so much. Do you remember Chilches, Ola Camp Chilches? We didn't like the campsite, but we liked the area, so we came back to the same area, but to a different campsite. And this is our live stream after the first week of living in a caravan again, after our stay in an Airbnb. So let me know if you are watching, let me know if you are with me. Please give this live stream a like. I can see the chat is quiet. It may be because it's a different time of the day, it's earlier than usual, but we wanted to do this live stream earlier to show you the view, to share the place with you and to make sure you see something, because it will be dark at our usual streaming time, and that's why we wanted to meet you a bit earlier today. So you may be wondering, how was our first week in a caravan after living in that beautiful villa for 2 weeks? It's been quite interesting. It took us a while to adapt and to get used to being in a caravan again. It took us a while to eat all the food our parents left us, because there were 5 of us for 2 weeks, and the amount of food we were buying and eating was just mind-blowing. And we kept asking our parents, please don't buy more, because we don't have a fridge, and once you are gone there will be only 2 of us, and what are we going to do with all this food? So for the last week we've hardly bought anything. We are still eating the leftovers and the stuff we took from the house. So this has been quite an interesting week. Drop a palm tree if you can see the waves, and let us know if you can actually hear the waves. Can you hear the Mediterranean? So this is a very mild evening. There are still quite a few people on the beach, many dog walkers. This is the time for the last walks with the doggies. So if you are lucky, you will see some lovely doggies. There are plenty of them on the campsite. And the first week in a caravan was great, but we really needed time to reset and rest. We haven't really done much over the last week. We drove here, that was quite an achievement, especially that we are really escaping storms and floods, and there are just so many different weather alerts in different areas of Spain. We are on the coast, we stick to the coast because this is the area which is the warmest, but inland there were snow warnings. There was snow in Zaragoza last week, in Zaragoza where we drove, and we are going to drive this route again on our way back. So the weather has been really hard, and we've talked to many people, we've talked to many locals, and they say, we can't remember winter like this. We can't remember such horrible winds and rain and floods. So this year is really challenging here in Spain. So, you know, to touch wood, hopefully we will manage to get out safely. And this is the thing, we've been here for almost 2 months now, and we are now driving back. We left El Campello and now we are driving back towards Valencia and then Tarragona and then all the way up north to the ferry terminal. So we have only 17 days left in Spain. I can't believe it. Hello Vuya Carmel and welcome. How lovely to have you, because I think you are the only one who joined us today. So welcome to the beach live stream. Can you hear the waves? Oh, there's the moon just over the horizon. There is a moon. I just noticed that it is a full moon. It looks absolutely beautiful. Anyway, how do you like the setting with Carmel, and how are you today? Looks like everyone prefers the live stream replay today. Well, we have Vuya Carmel. I'm not alone. So Vuya Carmel, how are you today? And what's the weather like in Poland? We do watch the news from Poland and it's absolutely terrifying. We hear about horrendous frosts and ice and snow. And it's really worrying. And you are in southern Poland, so I bet you have plenty of snow there. How are you coping with the weather? This is something we watch very closely because we are worried about storms and floods and high winds. And there were some devastating storms in Spain this winter. We watch the news from Poland because we worry about our friends and family and how they manage this extreme winter. And obviously, oh, Maciek and Alex, how lovely. Alex, I love your videos. Thank you so much. I like your English. Thank you, Alex. It's a good choice to live outside the UK this winter. It's been raining in London for several days now and it's constantly cold and damp. Yeah, but you know what, Alex? We begin to miss the UK, and recently we started to feel a bit homesick. Maciek, hi guys, I'm here as well, just doing some housework and only listening. Oh, busy Maciek, doing housework on Sunday evening. You work too hard. Marek, replay crew, don't forget to say hi in the comments. Yeah, once you have a chance to watch or listen to the live stream, I know you will. Remember that you can still give a like. Give this video a like even if you watch midweek. Wujek, beautiful sound. I spent a good day. I'm glad you've had a good day. I'm resting after a week of work. You work again. How lovely. How is work? It's cold here, -7 degrees. There is not much snow. A few weeks ago there was much more. In Olsztyn, you know, Marek's hometown, the temperature dropped to some terrifying levels. The frost was like -20, -25 in Olsztyn. Really, really cold. And I'm very pleased I'm not there. Yeah, so we've been watching the weather carefully because very soon we will be driving back to northern Spain. And we are seriously worried about we try not to worry too much. Yeah, we are worried. But honestly, I fall asleep and I have to keep repeating and telling myself, it's gonna be fine. We will manage, don't worry. I have to calm myself down because here in the south it's quite safe. The weather is mild, but we have to drive across Spain to get to Santander, to our ferry. And in northern Spain, there are no campsites which are open at this time of year. So it is quite interesting that in the south, especially around famous Costa Blanca, Malaga, there are so many tourists and so many holiday makers, and all campsites are full and fully booked. And up north, it's absolutely dead. So we found one campsite near Santander, which will be open in February, but it's so expensive and it has such horrible reviews that we decided to spend the last night in a caravan somewhere else, not on a campsite. But we'll share it when we get there. Alex, I was thinking of going from London to Brighton today to get some sea air. That's a good idea. But the transport wasn't working very well and the weather wasn't conducive to traveling. This is a really nice phrase. We drove through Brighton once. I don't really know Brighton. I've never been to Brighton properly. What is Brighton like? Do you know Brighton, Alex? What can you tell us about Brighton? Yeah, so we have just over 2 weeks left in Spain, and it's a bit scary to think, oh my goodness, the time is up, you know, we are running out of time. Very soon we'll be back in the UK. And I think, oh, where has this whole time gone? And then I look at our Facebook feed, I look at our posts, I scroll, you know, our feed, and I think about all these places we've visited, all the campsites, all the adventures we've had, good and bad. And then I realize, yeah, we've been here quite a long time. Wujek, for a few weeks, oh, this is about your work. You've got work in your village next door. Oh, it was -27. Oh my goodness. -22. I work in security. Well done. And how is working in security? Do you have a uniform? Do you have any weapon? It's really interesting what we see on security guards in Spain, but I will tell you that in a minute. Hello, Damian, and welcome to the beach live stream. This live stream is getting busy. How wonderful to see you. What a view. Long time no see. Good to know you're right. Yeah, we are kind of all right, and we are still kicking. We are still traveling with our caravan around Spain, and this is the place where we are this week. And we booked this campsite for a week. The campsite is literally meters. It's on the beach, and many people who are in the first line, there are pitches with the view, with the sea view. We are a bit further because those beach pitches were fully booked. The campsite is quite big, but they don't have that many touring pitches. They mostly have seasonal chalets. They only have 40 or 4 pitches for the caravans. Wujek, I saw on Instagram that there was a hurricane in Portugal. Yes, and how was it in Spain? It was very scary and very dangerous. In fact, I don't know if you can see, but there is so much wood and debris on the beach, and there was a lot of damage. It was much worse in Portugal. I think in Portugal the government declared like emergency, national emergency because of awful weather. We've been very lucky. I don't want to say it too early, but we've been very lucky that we kind of managed to escape those storms. But we really wish we had a camper van, because it would be easier to keep rolling, and we would have more flexibility. And now we are thinking, this is another argument for traveling in a camper van or a motorhome, because you could, drive away, you could cover much more distance in a day comparing to towing a caravan. And if the weather gets dangerous, and we all get weather alerts and weather warnings, you could escape much easier than, with a caravan. But there was a lot of damage, a lot of floods, a lot of damaged walkways, because in Spain there is a lovely infrastructure on beaches. Many places, many coastal villages have special wooden decks for people on wheelchairs, and a lot of that's been just washed away. So the storm's been really, really dangerous. High winds, floods. In fact, the site where we are staying this week, it's only partially open. It's not fully open because so many pitches were flooded, including ours. When we arrived, our pitch was an absolute bog. And if you saw our post on Facebook, you know what we mean. We arrived to a completely flooded pitch, but we still stayed. We decided to stay. So the weather is very scary and very testing this winter. Alex, where in the south of England would you recommend year-round living in a caravan? Of course, Devon or Cornwall. Devon, North Devon. Wujek. Wujek has a uniform, but it doesn't help because I work in a shop. It would be easier to catch the thieves without uniform if you were incognito. Have you had any luck? Have you caught anyone red-handed? In your opinion, Alex, is a trailer home better for long-term living than a motorhome? Well, it depends, Alex. Oh, Damian, thank you for brightening up my day in the freezing cold Poland. How are you coping? And hopefully, I heard that the weather is going to change soon in Poland and it's gonna get warmer. Is that the forecast you've heard? Is there any forecast, any hope that this horrible winter and those awful frosts will end? When is it going to end? Alex, you look great, and the reason for this is probably the calm peace of life in beautiful places. Oh yeah, Alex, if you could see us sometimes. It's not all plain sailing, and sometimes it gets stressful. So thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment. I think the fact that we've been out of work for quite a few months, you know, we are rested, we are relaxed. But the disadvantage of not being exposed to stresses of everyday life is that when something bad happens, when we have a stressful situation, we don't cope with it very well, because this is something we forgot about. And you know, when bad things happen, it's quite devastating. So this is the downside of living a very slow and relaxed life. But you know, we are coping, and we're just so happy we can follow our dream, because we always wanted to spend winter outside of England. This was the reason we moved into a motorhome. This is the reason we work as campsite wardens. This is the reason we have seasonal jobs, to have those choices and flexibility to do this. So we are happy. We are happy that we can follow our dreams together, definitely. Marek, remember to follow us on Facebook. Wujek, it's shocking what's happening with the weather. Let's hope it only gets better. Yeah, hopefully. I talked to a lady from Poland yesterday, because I teach English online again, and I had a lovely session with her, and she told me that, you know, she told me how she's coping, and it's unbelievable. People in Poland don't remember winter like this, and I think unless you are over 50, but I think anyone under the age of 50 honestly can't recall such a severe winter like this year. So, going back to security guards, we stayed on a campsite in Spain which had security guards, and Carmel, you might find it interesting. And security guards, I think they had more equipment for self-defense and for managing the public. The Spanish security guards, I may be wrong, I'm not an expert on this, but I think they looked more armed than British police officers, because they have massive handcuffs and they have this rubber thing like a bat for, you know, whacking people. And I don't think British police officers have anything like that on them. So this was quite a view to see such you know, security officers on a campsite with so much equipment on them. Right, I think it's time to sip a bit of my tea. It's been quite a good week, I have to say, and we are just super excited that we are in a caravan again. We thought that living in a house for 2 weeks would be relaxing and wonderful, but to be honest, we found it a bit distracting and a bit overwhelming sometimes. And who knows, maybe we would have a better time if we let our parents live in the house, and we would have stayed in a caravan on the street. We definitely missed our caravan routine and our simple life in a caravan. But we were super lucky, because we found the house. We found the house located in a very quiet residential area, and the owner agreed for us to park on the street, and the street was absolutely empty. No one had a problem with it. We left a note in the window of the caravan saying, hey, the owner of this caravan is at this and that number, so give us a shout if our caravan bothers you or anything. For 2 weeks no one spoke to us about our caravan, and no one broke in, so that was all good. That was all good, and it saved us a lot of money, because otherwise we would have to put our caravan in the storage. So it was nice to have it handy. So this campsite where we are staying right now, when we first arrived, we were not convinced if we wanted to stay, really, because it was flooded. But it's not the campsite's fault, really, it's just the weather, it's winter. But it was seriously flooded and not looking so great. But now, luckily, with a few dry days, the pitch is drier and the site looks a bit better, and the vibe of the campsite is absolutely amazing, because everyone is so friendly and everyone talks to the neighbors, and it's a really lovely place. We like the atmosphere here, we like the vibe, and it's quite rare, especially with such an international crowd, because we've got, actually maybe it's not so international, there are mostly 3 nations here: Spanish, Dutch and the Germans. We are the only Polish couple, and we are the only people in a British car. So for many days everyone thought we were English. And even some people said, oh, you are English, you are from the UK, we are so sorry you can't stay here for long because of Brexit. Because most of the Dutch and Germans, they come here and spend 6 months on this campsite. And the Brits can only spend 3 months abroad, 3 months in EU now. So luckily we have Polish passports, so if we wanted to, we could have spent here half a year, but I don't think we are strong enough and we are prepared for touring for 6 months. And going back to the question, Wujek Karma, I will ask for a lesson from the best teacher. Oh, do you mean me? I don't think I'm the best teacher, but I enjoy teaching, and it's been a pleasure to teach again, and I'm so lucky, because after many years of having very lazy students, this was actually the reason I stopped teaching online, because I couldn't stand that people who say they want to learn a language, they don't put any effort in it. So I just stopped because it was so frustrating. But now I've got this lovely lady, met this lovely lady who works very hard, and she's so keen, and it's a pleasure to teach her. Paul, good evening. Where are your plans for next winter? Ooh, we are brainstorming already. We still have to return to the UK in one piece, and that may be a bit of a challenge. So we are now focusing on getting safely to Portsmouth, but the other half of our brain is already fantasizing about next winter, and it won't be Spain. And it won't be in a caravan. So this is everything I can tell you, Paul. So this is at least our hope and our plan, but what will life bring, we will see. Alex, you asked me about motorhome and the caravan. In your opinion, is a trailer home better for long-term living than a motorhome? So if you want to live in one place, if you want to be based in one place, caravan, get a caravan. If you want to be mobile, if you want to change your address, get a motorhome. This is simple as that. And I have to say, we miss the flexibility of a motorhome here in Spain, especially, as I said earlier, in the light of this violent weather. And now, even here on this campsite, we parked on a very wet pitch. And in the meantime, because we've been here for a week, in fact we extended our stay here for another few days. In the meantime, we saw that better pitches were available, but honestly, we couldn't be bothered to move our caravan, you know, raise the legs and pack everything up. we didn't even pitch our awning up here. We came for a week, we were hoping to have an awning up, but it's so muddy and wet that we thought we don't want to have the whole awning covered in mud. So we are managing without an awning, and we couldn't even be bothered to move the caravan from one pitch to another. Because Marek said, I'm only hitching a caravan if we are driving away. But it's been a bit of a hassle, really. But you know, the caravan has its advantages. It is cheap. And when we walk around, you know, and we see those camper vans and motorhomes in villages, you know, on the streets, parked in those empty beach car parks, I think, oh, look at them, you know. They can move wherever they like, they don't have to book campsites, they don't have to plan so much, and now they are living here for free in the car park. And then I remind Marek, but you know how much they had to spend on those RVs. So sometimes we miss motorhomes, but Caravan has its advantages too. Wujek Karmel, of course, I'm talking about you. I'm not very good at English. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I could communicate, but I don't know many words, and I'm ashamed to talk because, for example, I'm wondering how to say it. Well, practice. Your written English is excellent, and it's lovely that you are, you know, taking part in the chat and you use English even though it's not your first language, and it's not easy, is it? We had a funny language situation in a restaurant today because we are staying in the area where there are not many British tourists, and staff in restaurants here, they don't speak or they don't want to speak English. And we had a really funny situation because we went for lunch and I ordered in Spanish and the menu was only in Spanish. And Marek was sure that the waiter will switch to English, because this is what happens quite a lot. When the Spanish hear that your accent is foreign or that you talk nonsense like I do quite a lot, they switch to English. But it didn't happen today. So we thought, oh, the guy doesn't know English, clearly. And then the next couple sat next to us, and we could hear their conversation with the waiter, and he clearly understood English. The couple didn't speak Spanish, they were just talking English, and assumed he would respond in English. But it was evident that the waiter understood everything in English, but he was answering and repeating in Spanish. So he clearly knew English, but he chose not to speak English. But it's always a good idea to speak local language, even if it's not perfect, and even if you struggle, it's always better. So this is something we've learned here in Spain, because we've been to Spain, we spent some winters in Spain before, and this year Marek said, those Spanish, you know, to be honest, we are not very keen on Spanish people, because when you come as a tourist, you all quite often, you know, in the past we felt exploited and taken advantage of and being disrespected and not getting good customer service because we were foreign and we were tourists. But things got better this year, and Marek said, oh, did you notice that the locals, they treat us better, we get a better deal, we feel better, you know, we feel welcomed and liked and accepted, they are more friendly. And I said, yeah, Marek, because my Spanish got better. I speak better Spanish than I used to, and that saved us many times. So that's a big reason for learning languages, guys. Alex, we travel to Brighton frequently because the cheapest trains go there from East Croydon in London. I even cycled from London twice. Well done you. This is how people who don't have a caravan take their vacations. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Right guys, our half an hour is up and it's getting a bit cold. It's Spain, but it's winter, you know, it's not Tenerife. It's not Tenerife weather-wise. It's even southern Spain is not as warm as Canary Islands. And I said to Marek today, oh, you know what? We still have over 2 weeks. How about we put our caravan in storage and just hop on a plane and fly to Canaries for a week? And Marek said, forget it, it's too expensive. The flights are super cheap. We are talking like 15 euros per ticket. But accommodation is shocking, absolutely shocking. So, you know, after a quick research said, okay, that will have to wait. We are staying in a caravan in Spain and we are staying on campsites. This is so much cheaper. Right, Paul, I am English, but live and work in Frankfurt. The German language is very difficult. I struggle. I practice my Spanish with ChatGPT. Maybe you could use it for practicing your German as well. I just talk whatever nonsense I think of in Spanish to chat, then play back the answers and play back the corrected version, and this is how I learn Spanish. Okay guys, I'm sure you would like to see the moon, which is rising over the horizon, and it's absolutely stunning. It is a full moon today, so if you haven't seen the moon, maybe it's dark wherever you are, make sure you look at the moon, because it is a full moon today and it's really nice. So maybe Marek could show you the moon and the boundaries of the campsite, and I will see you in the next video. And the next video is about packing our caravan and what goes where. So this is about a bit of a housekeeping video. And as always, thank you so much for watching our videos. Thank you for all the comments you wrote us this week. We responded to every single one. And thank you for subscribing to the channel and following our crazy caravan adventures. Have a good week, everyone. Wujek Carmel agrees to what I said about languages. Alex, have you thought about trading your caravan for a yacht? No. But I wouldn't mind a yacht or a living boat, wouldn't mind it at all. We have an experience of narrow boat and a life of a narrow boat, we like that. Wujek, good night, and Paul, good night. Good night guys, take care, and honestly for the guys in Poland, hold on, I hope the weather will improve and the country will defrost very soon. See you soon guys.
Just me and you, when we're lost or we're broken, our love pulls us through. Oh, it's a Spanish adventure, a crazy little scheme. So in our tiny house and living out the dream, from the oranges and olives to the dust and the rain, we wouldn't trade a second, no, we do it all again. Move it every week or two, find a brand new view. We're the freedom seekers and we're bringing it to you. So come and join the crew, see the chaos and the fun. Hit that subscribe button till the journey's done. Check out what we're up to in the land of wine and sun. Freedom seekers on the road, the best is yet to come. Find us on YouTube. Yeah, it's a crazy